Most people buy their first car to look successful, but the person who built from zero? They almost don't buy it at all. Everyone imagines that the moment real money arrives, you walk into a dealership, point at something shiny, and finally feel like you made it. But that's not what happens. Not for the person who came from nothing. What actually happens is stranger, because the grind changes you. The version of you that comes out the other side doesn't think about money the same way, doesn't spend the same way, doesn't even feel success the same way as someone who never struggled. And that first car carries all of it. Every late night, every skipped meal, every time you watch someone else drive away and quietly told yourself, not yet, soon. That car isn't just a car, it's proof. But here's what most people miss. Everyone sees the result, the car, the lifestyle. Nobody sees what happened underneath. The phases every self-made person quietly moves through, the ones that shape how they think, how they feel, and why a simple car purchase can carry the weight of years. That's what this video is. 6 honest moments nobody really talks about. And if you've built from scratch, or you're still in the middle of it, you'll find yourself somewhere in here. Let's start at the very beginning. The phase nobody ever sees. The one that quietly builds everything. Number 1, the invisible grind phase. Real wealth from zero doesn't happen in public. No audience, no applause. It happens at midnight when you're exhausted, but you still make the disciplined choice. Every time you don't spend when you could have. Every time someone else upgrades on credit and you quietly stay in your lane. That discipline slowly stops being survival. It becomes identity. And that identity? It's the foundation everything else gets built on. But the moment the money finally arrives, something unexpected happens. Something nobody warns you about. That's number 2, the hesitation moment. And it's where things get complicated. You'd think this part feels good. And in some ways, it does. But not in the clean Hollywood way you always imagined when you were broke. The money is real. The account confirms it. You've done the math 3 times. You can afford this. And yet, standing at the dealership, something inside keeps whispering, "Are you sure?" Not because the math is wrong. The math is fine. Because your brain isn't wired for this yet. Years of scarcity install a very specific alarm system. One that fires every time you're about to spend significantly. It kept you safe when the margin for error was 0. It helped you survive. That alarm system literally built you. But now, it can't tell the difference between a reckless purchase and an earned one, so it fires anyway. And suddenly you're talking yourself out of something you worked years to afford. What if the income stops? What if this is the peak? What if buying this is the exact moment things start falling apart? That's not wisdom. That's your old survival wiring running a program that no longer fits your life. Most people who were handed money never feel this. They buy without blinking, but the person who clawed their way up from nothing, they hesitate, sometimes for weeks. And here's the quiet irony. That hesitation is proof of how far you've come. Only someone who truly understands the value of what they built would be this careful with it. But there's a line between being careful and punishing yourself for succeeding. Don't cross it. Number 3, and this one reframes everything. Because it turns out, self-made people don't even want the same thing from a car that most people do. And once you understand why, everything starts making sense. Number 3, freedom versus flash. Ask yourself honestly, why do most people want a nice car? It's not always about the drive. It's about being seen. It's about signaling to the world, and maybe to yourself, that you made it. There's nothing shameful about that, but it's worth understanding. Because the person who built from zero wants something completely different. They don't want the attention. They want the feeling, the specific, quiet feeling of a car that starts every single time. Of not scanning the dashboard for warning lights before a long drive. Of not calculating whether you can afford the repair if something breaks on the highway. They want reliability. Control. They want to stop spending mental energy on survival. Most self-made people don't go straight for the flashiest option available. Some do, and that's fine, but a surprising number go practical, solid, dependable. Not because they can't afford more, because they've lived in so much chaos that order itself becomes the luxury. Freedom feels different when nobody handed it to you. Number 4, the scarcity to abundance shift. Here's where it gets dangerous. Your bank account changes almost overnight. Your nervous system, that takes much longer. So you end up in a strange in-between place. Externally, abundance. Internally, still survival mode. And that gap between who you've become and who your brain still thinks you are, that's where people quietly fall apart. Some overspend to prove the fear is gone. Some underspend so aggressively they never enjoy what they built. Some keep waiting for it all to disappear. Because deep down, a voice is still whispering, "You don't actually belong here." That voice isn't the truth, but it sounds exactly like it, and the car forces you to confront it directly. Because buying it makes everything real, which leads to the most powerful shift in this entire journey. And it changes everything about how you see yourself. Number 5, the identity lock-in. There's a moment where something quietly clicks, where you stop feeling like a broke person who got lucky and start feeling like someone who builds things. Someone who, if everything disappeared tomorrow, would simply start again and win again. That shift doesn't come from the money. It comes from the evidence. And the car is evidence, not for anyone else, not for the people who doubted you, not for the family members who didn't believe it, for you. Specifically for the version of you that sat on that bus, watched a nice car pass, and made a quiet promise to yourself. That kid deserves the proof. The first car you buy after making it from zero doesn't impress strangers. It finally stops disappointing the kid you used to be. Number 6, protecting the new reality. Getting wealthy from zero is hard. Staying wealthy from zero requires something different entirely. Money disappears quietly, not always through bad investments, sometimes through lifestyle creep, through old habits dressed as new ones, through relaxing before your mindset has fully caught up with your reality. If deep down you still see yourself as the person who doesn't fully deserve this, you'll unconsciously make decisions that return you to familiar territory, not because you're careless, because the brain gravitates toward what feels like home, and for a long time, struggle was home. So the real work, after the car's in the driveway and the emotion settles, is protecting the builder identity, not the car, not the balance, the identity. The person who creates outcomes, who doesn't need the purchase to feel worthy but doesn't punish themselves for enjoying it either. The real flex was never the car. It was becoming someone who didn't need it to feel whole. So tell me honestly, where are you in this journey right now? Drop it in the comments. If this felt personal, share it with someone who needs it. And if you want more content that actually respects your journey, subscribe.